Welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast, Baseball Family. This week we have Miggy joining another club, the Phillies melting down against the Mets, and the worst Copa hats. Next.
9 Plus Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast, Baseball Family. I am Brad, and as you would expect, I am here with our guy, Brig. Welcome, Brig. How are you today?
So good, Brad. How are you, man?
I'm good. I bet you're so good. You look like you're back home. Back cozy at your house.
Yep.
After, what was it, like a month on the road?
Yeah. 4 whole weeks.
4 whole weeks. I can't.
4 whole weeks.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was a big deal, and I think I counted 9 baseball games.
Nice.
Either 9 or 10, and I don't know if I counted Wilson's Little League game.
Yeah, you did make an appearance, and he really appreciated that. He liked that.
Count that actually.
But anyway, that makes 2 games in one day for both of us.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, we have some things to get into today. We're going to start with our news section, our current events, and then we're going to talk about Copa hats, because we talked about our favorite Copa hats last week. So we decided, maybe I think there needs to be balance in all things, right? So we're going to talk about some of the worst ones this week. But let's start with this. First, we have Miguel Cabrera has joined Brig yet another club, and this is not his retirement country club. Instead,
no, it's not.
He hit a double on Saturday in the second inning, and it got him into the 600 doubles club, which is an outstanding club to be in. Some of my favorite. That's got to be one of my favorite clubs, to be honest with you. I love doubles. Big fan of doubles.
Big fan. Yeah.
But he is only the 3rd player to have 3,000 plus hits, 500 plus home runs, and 600 plus doubles. Can you guess the other 2 who are part of that group for us, Brig?
Hammer and Hank Aaron.
Hammer and Hank.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Oh. Hank Aaron.
And dang. I don't want to say A-Rod. But I don't think
it's an active player. It's an active
player.
Oh,
it's an active
Barely
player?
active, but active nonetheless.
Barely? Is it King Albert?
Months. Albert Winnie the Pujols.
Yes.
Yes, that is
You said
correct.
Barely active, so.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not going to be active here coming in a few months, but yes. Yeah, 3 guys in the history of baseball have done that. That's unreal.
That's huge. That's so cool.
Yep, I love it. And one of the best personalities in baseball, too. I'm so happy anytime Miggy hits a milestone. I'm going to miss him in baseball. There's certain guys like him, Adrian Beltre. I miss Adrian Beltre already.
Yeah.
Felix Hernandez is somebody who needs to be in baseball, if nothing else. If no other reason right now than just the fact that he's a good personality, right?
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's how I feel about the Todd father, and we'll get to him in a minute.
We will get to him in a minute. But first, let's talk about the Phillies and the Mets. Ooh. Now, this was absolutely unreal. So the Phillies absolutely just fell apart and melted down against the Mets last week. This is on Thursday. And Brig, I have to tell you, I have to talk about this every week because I have my little parlays that I do.
Yeah.
I had the Phillies money line in that game. They were down 7-1 going into the 9th inning. I was like, well, one of them's not going to hit. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
And then, Brig, they go and they score 7 runs in the top of the 9th inning to win the game. Going into that game, the Mets, as a franchise, were 0-330 going into the 9th inning down 6 or more runs. They came back and they won it. And
in the top of the 9th. It's crazy.
In the top of the 9th. And I was pumped. I could not believe it. I was so excited. I was like, yes, the parlay lives for another 5 minutes until the Blue Jays blew it because they stink right now, apparently.
Yeah, well, they're playing with 4 hours. They deserve it.
Yeah, you're right.
So take that.
But my question for you, Brig, about this whole thing is, does this comeback / meltdown, does it say more about the Phillies as a team or about the Mets as a team?
The Mets.
More about
the Mets. Yes, because they are not going to met the bed this year, dude.
You're
telling you.
You're right.
I'm just telling you. I don't know if it's Buck Showalter or if it's the staff they have or it's the pitching changes. I don't know, but it says more about the Mets. The Mets are hungry. They're in it to win it. They're their first team to 20 wins in all of baseball.
Yep, first team to get 20 wins this season. That is a feat in and of itself. The other thing too that's funny, as far as the Phillies go, is that I told Mel that the Mets were down 7-1. I told Mel going in like the 7th inning, I was like, but we'll see what happens when we get deep into the bullpen because you never know with the Phillies.
It's true.
And I feel like that's something that it says about the Phillies too, is they need some work on that bullpen for sure, because they were a huge problem last year, continue to be a huge problem this year. Need to fix it.
Yeah, and so the question is, do we tear down? Is it time for Philadelphia to start rebuilding midway through this year, maybe the end of the season? Because I mean, it's early right now to make
it's
that
very
call,
early.
but...
It's very early. They're 12-16. Gene Segura just hit a home run off of Chris Flexen, so they're up 1-0 right now.
Outstanding.
But so this is the thing that I said. Harper signed with the Phillies in 2019, the offseason going into 2019 season.
Yep.
I told my buddy, I said, I give this team 3 to 5 years to win a World Series. If it doesn't happen, they trade him.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't have that albatross on your payroll and not win games.
No.
That's
100%.
the expectation with the Phillies now. So I think give them one more year. I think next year at the absolute latest. If they don't win, then they tear it down. This year, I think honestly, if they miss the playoffs, we could see some massive changes coming.
Totally. Okay, so would one of those changes be Joe Girardi? Does he stay or does he go?
He's probably got to go.
I think so. I think he has to go. If they really tear it down, I think they start there. Yeah,
I think so too. And that was one of the things. So Jason and Tori with the Philly Baseball Together podcast, that's one of the things they talked about, is that they don't like the way that Joe Torre, kind of his tone.
Girardi.
Yeah, Joe Girardi. In 1999, bro.
Hey, stop it. You stop it.
But anyway, they don't like Joe Girardi's tone after games like this, because they can blow this massive lead, or they can get blown out, or they can win a game and he still has the flat, like, well, there are some encouraging things that we saw out there.
Sure.
But
how much of that is his press conference persona, and how much of that it translates to the closed door of the clubhouse?
I don't know. He's pretty even keeled, generally speaking, right?
Totally. I know all about it. Yeah.
So, I mean, it might be just coach speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he doesn't want to create bulletin board material. He doesn't want to do anything like that, because he doesn't want to have a Yankee situation last year where the Yes Network was calling out the players.
Yep.
Right? Because he's been there. He's lived that.
For sure.
So maybe that's why he's so even keeled that way. But Jason was like, we need somebody who's gonna hold these players accountable and call them out. It's like, well, okay, like I get it, it's Philly, but at the same time, like maybe it is happening behind closed doors.
I don't think he's a throw the table kind of guy. You know, he's not going to come in and dump everything, but I don't think he's going to let him off the hook either. I see him being more like a thin-lipped, angry, disappointed dad at the end of the dinner table kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Where he's like glowers at you, thin-lipped, and he's like, you know what you did. I don't even have to say it. I think that's what I get from Joe. He's just
disappointed.
Yeah. That's what I get. I don't know.
Could be.
We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, but go check out Jason and Tori's Philly Baseball Together podcast to listen to the rest of. They recorded a special episode right after that, the day after that happened, and it's a good listen. There's a lot of interesting stuff coming from Phillies fans. But you said the Mets are the first team to 20 wins. The Yankees got to 20 wins today. They squeaked one out against the Rangers. Did you get a chance to follow that game, Brig? Did you watch it? Anything?
A little bit, not as much as I wanted to, but I know that Dirty Nestor had a no bid go through by into the 8th, I should say.
7 1/3. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was watching
pretty cool.
it.
He threw 103 pitches, which I think is kind of unheard of right now.
Well, for him too.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have expected him to go 100 pitches.
Nope. Especially in April or May. I guess it's May now, but yeah.
But still. Barely a month into the season. Yeah, I didn't expect him to even go out there for the 8th inning. But they gave him one hit, and he saw it, and he kind of winced.
Yeah, and it was just a single. It was not a huge deal. It wasn't a barn burner problem.
Right.
Nobody scored.
And I think the next pitch, I think the reliever came in and and got the next guy to bounce into a double play. So it wasn't inconsequential.
Didn't even earn a run.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah.
But no, the Yankees, they pulled that one out. Let's talk. Speaking of pulling out a win with the Yankees, let's talk about this next.
Okay.
So over the weekend, the Yankees Rangers had a weekend series, like I just talked about. The Yankees walked off on Sunday.
Yeah.
On Sunday, game one of a doubleheader.
Game one. Yeah.
Yeah. Gleyber Torres hit a home run to right field. And Rangers manager Chris Woodward says that Yankee Stadium is a Little League park, and that would have been an easy out in 99% of parks. Well, first, Brig, as a Yankees fan, like, what do you? I'm curious what you think about that.
First and foremost, I'll say the same thing. It's been the same dimensions for a long time. So stop complaining about it. Like, it's not going to change. It's never been different. Everybody always comes with this wiffle ball and Little League Park crap about the short porch and right. Is it short? Yes, it is. Should you complain about it? No, because you profit from exactly the same circumstances as everybody else who plays at Yankee Stadium. Just because you're not in pinstripes. So
I think it was Michael K on the broadcast today. He's like, it's not like that wall has wheels on it. You're not going to send it out for the away team, bring it in. No, everybody gets to benefit from the short porch. And this is one of my things. Everybody talks about the short porch at Yankee Stadium. Nobody talks about 309 or 306 or whatever it is down the line at Fenway.
Exactly.
That's a routine fly ball in most places.
Yep.
Yeah, no, like, who cares?
Well, and here's the thing because that's exactly what happened, if I'm not mistaken, is that in game 2, they did come back and short porch one. The Rangers did.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Everybody
It's
does.
like, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris Woodward came back and he was like, nah, I was just kidding.
Yeah, because they benefited.
Beautiful park.
And because people were upset with what he said.
Yeah.
It's a cathedral.
Park. It's a cathedral.
Yeah.
Which it is, a cathedral of baseball. But my God. It is,
definitely.
Just come on, dude.
One of the things that I think is funny, though, is Aaron Boone took exception to the comment. He goes, well, his math is wrong. 99% is impossible. There are only 30 parks. And I did the math on it. The best you can do is 96.7%. So if he really wants to get him next time, he can say, well, in 96.7% of parks, that's an easy out.
But that was petty all the way around.
It was petty. This is another good one, though. So I have an overlay for you, Brig. I pulled this off of Baseball Savant today because I was really curious. So this is that home run, that Gleyber Torres home run at Yankee Stadium. Yeah. Okay, you can see it right here. There's the dot on it, and clearly gone. Well, the Rangers play at Globe Life Park, and you know what, Brig? It's a home run there as well.
Oh, you sure is. It sure is, Chris.
It's not as far out, but nonetheless, it is in home run territory. So, come on now.
Oh my gosh.
Is Globe Life Park also a Little League stadium?
Yeah, that's what I want to know now.
I don't know.
That's good. That's real good.
I thought it was funny, though. I thought that was really good because I was really curious about where that ball would have landed in Texas.
I just don't think 369-foot home run should be questioned very often.
No. It would have been a home run in 26 to 30 parks in that location.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
Just shut up and hold your pitchers accountable, maybe. Anyway,
yeah.
So let's talk about teams that we're not sure if they're good or bad, because there have been some teams that have been on some incredible tears lately. The Angels have been one of them. 6-4 in their last 10. Their record is currently 19-11. They're playing right now. They're playing against the Rays. They're scoreless in the second. But are the Angels for real, Brig? What do you think?
I think the Angels have more moxie this year than they've had in the last couple of years. I think that is widely attributed to Shohei Ohtani, and he's clearly having fun, and that is infectious. And I think everybody's starting to catch on. So everybody's benefiting from that tertiary or kind of like that runoff that he's bringing his mojo. And I think Mike Trout's one of them, and I'll tell you why. I think all of the pressure has been on Mike Trout for so long that now that Ohtani is there, he hasn't had any of the pressure to perform, be the guy, the all-star, the everything, everybody, carry the franchise guy. And now that Ohtani is there and is having fun, I think Mike Trout, this is part of why we're seeing Mike Trout come back. I honestly
think
do.
you're right. So, a lot of pressure taken off his back, 100%.
Yeah. So is the team for real? I don't know that I could answer that cleanly, but I mean, those two guys are for real. No doubt.
They are for real. Absolutely. Trout's having an outstanding start to the season. Ohtani is doing Ohtani things. Like, both of those guys have been awesome. The difference is the pitching is that they actually finally have pitching. Yeah. But there are a lot of teams that can do well and pitch and go on winning streaks in April and May, but then fall off in June. Hello, Mariners fan, right here.
Yeah. Right.
I've seen it happen firsthand so many times. And I mean, the next team we're going to talk about, the Diamondbacks did it last year.
For sure.
The Diamondbacks had an outstanding April, and then they wet the bed in May and every other month going forward, you know?
Yeah.
So now the Diamondbacks are 15-14. They're 7-3 in their last 10. We watched them take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers.
Yep.
I don't think sustainable? They're for real. You don't think they're for real?
No.
One thing I will say about this team,
they might break 500, but
they might finish with 81 wins, 82 wins.
Yeah,
but the big thing I see with the Diamondbacks is that they don't know how to quit. They don't quit.
True. That's true.
They're scratching and clawing. Like they won in a walk-off opening day, and then on Sunday they were down 10-1 going into the 9th inning, and they made it. This is opening Sunday of opening weekend. They clawed back and made it a game.
Yeah.
You know, and I was in one of the tunnels waiting for Wilson to run the bases as they're coming back, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? I'm going to miss this historic comeback because I'm standing here waiting for you to run the bases."
Yeah. So I guess the fair question is, are they for real compared to what we thought they would be? Yeah, I think they are.
They're definitely better than we thought.
Yeah, are they for real contenders? Like, I don't think so. But they're better than we thought, and they're disrupting things, and that's pretty fun.
They're definitely going to be disruptors. They're definitely going to be spoilers going into like late in the season, I think, because they have the talent, and like I said, they don't quit, which is going to be a problem for teams like the Dodgers, who kind of quit on themselves tonight against the Pirates. Like, come on, now. Come on. There was no reason for the Dodgers to not come back and make that a game. They ended up losing 5-1.
It's very upsetting. Stupid. It's so weird.
But
come on, LA
now. But so we've got those two teams that have been surprises. What's up with these guys? The Red Sox are 10-19.
It's perfect.
Are you ready for the last 10, Brig?
Excellent. Yes.
2-8. 2-8 in their last 10.
I mean, I'm just saying. I feel pretty good about this. No, it is astonishing though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this Trevor Story thing is not quite working out the way I thought it would.
No, it's not. And I actually saw somebody today, I think it was on Twitter in another group chat or something, I don't remember. Somebody said, well, that was a big concern going into free agency, that a lot of teams had a lot of pause with him because his road splits were not good.
Right.
That he was very, very good in Coors, but not so good anywhere else. So I don't know if it's going to take him some time to get used to hitting a Fenway or what, but I don't know. The ball still comes from 60 feet, 6 inches. So
every single time, dude. Every single time.
Yeah. And I think they also said there were guys last year who overachieved, like Dahlbach, Bobby Dahlbach.
Yeah, right.
Said overachieved. And I think he overachieved last year too, but I thought maybe he was just better than I thought. But
no, I keep telling you. I keep telling everybody, Bobby Dahlbach's a problem.
He's turning out to be. Big time.
I think that the Red Sox made a huge blunder not getting rid of Dahlbeck and signing Rizzo when they had the chance.
They definitely should have. And I think that was most teams. Is that most teams? I mean, I think Rizzo would have been an upgrade over 25 first basemen in the league.
Yep. And now he's having fun in New York, which he didn't have last year.
Yes,
and he's killing it.
Yeah.
I don't know what changed. Maybe it's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. I don't know what's going on, but something has shifted.
Did I not tell you he was a solid pickup?
You did, and I was worried, but you were right on the money. Because
I was surprised.
Is scrappy.
I am still surprised the Rangers got rid of him. Because he's a problem from time to time, but I feel like he's one of those clubhouse guys too.
Totally. And then you move Stanton to right. Judge gets to move to center field every once in a while when Hicks can't figure out how to play baseball, and everything's fine. Yep. And I think it's cool. It's cool to see anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Something's going on in New York.
Something is going on in New York, and I wish it was going on in Seattle. Because right now the Mariners are 13-16. They did salvage a series against the Rays. Didn't get swept. I have this Mariners tie I wear on Sunday, and I think it's lucky because so far, knock on wood, undefeated when I wear the tie. Break.
Oh.
Yeah. So
you could wear it every day. You know.
I was gonna say I might start wearing it just the T-shirt every day.
Yeah.
Might be a new thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But currently the Mariners 2-1 with nobody out in the bottom of the second. Dylan Moore is up. Here's an interesting thing about Dylan Moore. I think he's playing for his spot this week.
Yeah, you think
because
so?
Kyle Lewis is tearing things up in AAA. He's getting ready to come back up off a rehab assignment. Somebody's got to go when he comes up because he's a proven talent, and it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. So I'm paying attention to Dylan Moore very closely over the next few days to see how it goes for him. But I think the biggest problem for the Mariners right now is starting pitching has not been good. Robbie Ray has not been Cy Young Robbie Ray. Chris Flexen has not been 2021 Chris Flexen. And Marco Gonzalez, Jewel and I talked about this month on the Seattle Baseball Together podcast. Yeah. Marco Gonzalez seems like he's lost his edge.
Right.
He doesn't look like he likes to play baseball anymore. Like, it's weird.
That's weird. That's super weird.
Have you noticed, Brig, that there's some guys when they go out to pitch, they don't look like they want to be there?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he and Diego Castillo, both of them look like they're just miserable while they're pitching. Like, I don't care. You don't have to be smiling. You don't have to be you don't have to be messing around and stuff with everybody else on the field. Yeah. But look like you want to be there, right?
Right.
Look like you're engaged in what you're doing. Garrett Cole never looks happy when he's on the mound, but he looks like he's engaged in what he's doing. Marco Gonzalez no longer looks like he's engaged in what he's doing.
You know, both times I pitched in Little League, I felt the same way.
That you weren't engaged in what you were doing?
Relate.
You weren't engaged in what you were doing?
Well, I was scared out of my mind.
Well, there's that.
So I feel like these guys, we should cut them some slack.
But they're professionals, though. You were not a professional by any stretch of the imagination, especially as a pitcher in Little League.
For sure. I'm just trying to bake in some empathy. Gosh.
Don't want any empathy.
Oh, man.
Anyway, speaking of fear, though, I thought this was a good story. We're going to skip down here just a little bit. So the Pirates' second baseman, Josh Van Meter, had to play catcher this weekend for the first time since he was in high school.
My gosh.
So on Saturday, you had backup catcher Andrew Knapp got ejected in the bottom of the sixth inning after yelling at the umpire from the dugout. Because somebody else got called on it, or they're on defense.
Yeah.
They didn't call a check swing. He was yelling at the umpire. He gets run. He's the backup. Who cares? Until Brig, I believe it was the seventh inning. Anyway, starting catcher Roberto Perez left the game with a hamstring injury after he rounded second base, and Brig, he rounded second and crawled back to the
He crawled back. He was dragging himself on the ground. It looked bad.
Yeah, I thought it was something else. I had to look up for sure to see that it was a hamstring. I thought maybe it was an ACL. But so they brought Van Meter in, who is on the roster specifically as the emergency catcher. And they brought him in. He caught the eighth inning. And the article I read said, what was going through his mind? And in quotes, it said, pure panic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh my god!
But he also
gave up 7 runs in that.
They did. It was tied going into the eighth. Gave up 7 runs, lost 9-2. But one thing he specifically said, he said the pitchers were really nice to me. They didn't put too many balls in the dirt, and I think that's why they scored 7 because they're not going to throw anything low to this dude.
Yeah.
It's all going to be knee high and up. So
for sure,
swing away, fellas, swing away. But I can totally relate to that because when I was a sophomore, I was playing JV, and we were scrimmaging the varsity. The shortstop for the varsity that year. Actually got drafted by the Rockies. So he
nice.
was really, really good. They brought
Yeah.
out the radar gun to practice one day, and I think he topped out at like 93 or 94.
Wow.
So he's never pitched before, at least not for our high school. And our coach had talked about bringing him in as a closer or short relief because he has a cannon, and nobody's going to hit 93, 94. And so he's never pitched. And as I think he had this, anyway, I don't remember how we had it working. Like the varsity pitchers were playing with the JV, so they could pitch to the varsity players, and JV was pitching with the varsity, so they could pitch to the JV players.
Sure.
But I was playing JV, and obviously he's a varsity pitcher, and so the coach says, "Cornrow, get your gear on," and everybody looks and like,
they call you Cornrow.
everybody looks at me like, I was like, me? Like,
yeah, right.
Get your gear on. As I put my shin guards on, the varsity catchers are over there patting me on the back. Well, Cornrow's nice having you on the team.
Yeah.
We'll say nice things about you. It was scary, Brady. It was so scary. And it was one of those things where it was like, just catch it in the pocket, but don't miss. Because if you miss, it's going to be humiliating. And I didn't miss a single pitch, but it was so stressful. Talk about pure panic. Absolute panic. 1000%.
That's amazing.
So I can't imagine not having caught since high school and then going in and catching a big league pitcher. That would just be absolutely insane.
That would be.
But anyway, that's enough of Josh Van Meter. Let's talk about Robbie Canoe one more time, because this might be the last time we ever talk about him.
Exactly.
So he was officially released by the Mets. He cleared waivers, as you would expect. Nobody picked him up after he was designated for assignment, but the Mets didn't want to send him down to AAA. So they just released him, paying him all of his money. Seattle is going to take care of some of that because that was part of the deal. So he's going to be a free agent. He can get picked up for the rest of this year on a prorated $700,000 veteran minimum salary. And then next year he would also have a $710,000 salary.
Right.
Is there anybody in this league who picks up Cano, Brig?
You threw me a curveball. Because I was thinking something totally different. I think so. Let me get that out of my brain really quick. I think he joins Yasiel Puig. Okay. It'll be in Korea. Just you wait, Henry Higgins, and but for the remainder of because that won't happen until next season. So the remainder of this season, I don't know who needs a second baseman.
It could happen this season.
It could. I'm just trying to figure out where.
I'm saying he could end up in the KBO this season.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that will happen. I think they probably already got things pretty well established. But
what if? Because remember, in 2020, Taylor Motter got cut, and then who was it? From a former Cubs player, drawing a blank on him, ended up joining. I think it was the Kiwoom Heroes partway through the season.
That's who Yasiel Puig plays for right now. Kiwoom.
Yeah. So he could.
Yeah, you're right.
There could be a Korean team that's like, Cano's a better option than this dude.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's true.
You might be right,
because that's what I see happening.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that, and I can see him joining Yasiel Puig on the peninsula.
Yeah. What about Japan?
Nah, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out. I think Korea makes more sense.
Probably. You're probably right. That's probably where he ends up. I don't see any big league teams picking him up.
I mean,
he's not worth the headache.
The headache is the problem. The money's not the problem. It's the headache, and it's the clubhouse dynamic.
Because he's not a good clubhouse guy. Not at all.
He's not. No. And he's gonna poison your youngins. You know.
Yeah. I think you're right though. I think Korea is the way to go with him.
Cincy, maybe. I mean, who plays second base in Cincinnati right now? Nobody knows.
It's not Jonathan India because he's playing shortstop.
Yeah. I mean, I could see.
It is Jonathan India.
It is?
Yeah. Kyle Farmer is the shortstop. India is the second baseman. They're not replacing him. He's a shortstop of the future.
Yeah, no.
And their DH, I mean, I could see Votto DHing, but regardless,
Yeah.
I don't see Cano being able to come in and be a DH for anybody because he's
No.
batting like $150 before when he
Yeah,
was
it's
cut.
not a DH. I say Korea. I think he ends up in Korea if he plays
I
anymore.
think you're right. I think that's
Yeah.
the best option, and that's the end of the line for him. I really do.
Well, let me talk about somebody we do want to keep around. Jose Ramirez, if the Cleveland Baseball Club, he said he would rather take $150,000 to stay in Cleveland than $200 million anywhere else. So did I say 150,000? I meant 150 million. He would rather take 150 million, stay in Cleveland, than play anywhere else for more money, basically. What do you think of that, Brad? Like, is that realistic, or
I think
because
it
he
is
said
because
my family's been set up for life, like we're good, we don't need any
yeah,
more
he
money.
said my life's not going to be any different if I make $200 million or if I make $150 million, and
Yeah,
that is the most honest any baseball player or any athlete has been in my lifetime,
yeah,
right? And he's
yeah,
absolutely right.
yeah. Oh,
So,
I think he's absolutely right. I
and
just I don't. I was shocked to hear it. It was so clear and
it is
so
shocking to hear it. Just like I said, because it's never been said, but also like it's one of those things where it's like it's refreshing, right? There's something to be said for loyalty. He's comfortable in Cleveland.
yes.
He's comfortable
They
in
love
Cleveland.
him.
Yes, and apparently he loves them. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we start to see it a little bit more after this has happened. That it's one of those things where it's like, well, it's been done before, and I really like where I'm at, so I'll take a hometown discount.
Totally.
Guys
Yeah.
do it. Guys actually do it in the NFL from time to time. Take the hometown discount. Not that much because there's not
That's a
that much
lot. It
money
was
to go
big.
around.
Yeah.
But they'll take a little bit of a discount. And I'm curious if we're going to start seeing that a little bit more. It probably won't be any Scott Boras clients because he won't let
No.
them.
No, I think you're right. But it was encouraging because I want these long-term deals. I want the franchise guy. I want the guy to stick around, be the hometown hero type for a generation. If you're going to play
Yeah.
15 years in the big leagues, I'd like you to stay with the same team if at all possible. So, so I love this, and a little free advice for everyone listening. I used to work in employment, and I would always advise my job seekers: look, company culture is the first thing you have to evaluate, right? And then it's do you like who you get to be when you're on the job? And then it's do you like who you get to be when you're at home because of the job you got to do all day at the office? And then number 4 consideration is pay. And I just was kind of nice to see this come down from a guy who's making this much money, who's making decisions in a similar way. I just thought it was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. It really is. One of the last things, just real quick here, Brig. Did you see the Mother's Day hats this weekend?
Yeah.
Dude, they're awesome.
They're
So I have a
so
couple
awesome.
here. I have the Yankees hat right here. Look at
Yeah.
that. I love it.
Yeah, it's so clean.
much. The gray with the pink is outstanding. I don't usually like what the Mariners do with their alternates, but this is
so
great.
good. It's
Looks
so good.
really good.
I like that there's less white.
Yes. Yeah,
I like that the pink
it's more
pops.
gray with the pink. But I think my favorite part is the undervisor.
Mm-hmm.
Kabang.
It's killer.
That pink is awesome.
It's like a pink, cloudy splatter design with like various shades and hues of pink. It's really nice.
I love it. It's amazing. If it wasn't $45, I'd go out and buy one today. But that's a little steep for me these days.
It is.
For a hat, because that's a lot. But last thing here, we have 2 things. Let's just do this real quick. Todd Frazier, Brig briefly mentioned him earlier, has helped build a special needs. Yes, the Todd father has helped build a special needs Field of Dreams in Toms River, New Jersey. He partnered with a family who has a son who suffered significant brain damage in a car accident, and his dad's basically saying he went from a normal, high functioning kid to somebody who he can no longer communicate. He has to use a tablet to communicate, which is something that at our house is a big deal because my daughter's not there yet, but she's headed that direction with autism. But they built a Field of Dreams for kids with special needs, where kids with special needs can go play baseball. And for me, that's truly an awesome thing because, like I said, I have a daughter with autism who just loves to be involved. Wilson will hit any ball. We'll let him around the house. Usually it's a balloon these days because he's too strong. But she'll want to get his bat and hit the balloon with him. She thinks it's fun.
Yeah.
So I think it's great with the kids with special needs have a place to go where they can be involved because they don't really get a chance to, So it's a safe place for them to be able to play baseball, and I think it's outstanding. I love it.
I do too. I was really encouraged by that.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing on our lineup, Major League Baseball and the City of London have a new long-term relationship. They will play regular season games in London in 2023, 24, and 26. I don't know why 2025 is not on there.
Maybe they know something
in the article. Yeah, maybe they what?
Maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah, it's not an Olympic year, is it? Like, I don't think that's it.
No, I don't know.
Anyway, maybe it's World Cup. I don't know. Something.
World
must
Baseball
be going
Classic,
on.
something. I don't know.
Something. Yeah. Anyway, 23, 24, and 26 games will be played in London, regular season games. And the last time the Red Sox and Yankees played there, it was like 50 runs scored or some bananas.
Some kind of offensive showcase is what they got. Not actual baseball. It was pretend offensive baseball. But
it was pretend baseball, but it was a lot of fun. I guess the fan base in the London area and in England widely has been more agreeable, more amenable to the baseball situation, and I think that's really neat. And so they said they're going to plan home run derbies and different things like that to generate interest as they draw near. So
that's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love it so much. Before we go, we want to remind everybody about the easiest way for you to support the podcast, and that's to join our Patreon as rooters. We've got a new rooter this week. We want to welcome Zip to the party. Welcome.
Thanks,
you can
Zip.
watch the bullpen cut or listen to the bullpen cut every single week on Patreon. And if you would like to get in and listen to the bullpen cut of the podcast, which is completely uncut, unedited, everything from the moment we hit record until the very, very end, then you too can by joining our rooters. We have 3 different tiers: $5, $10, and $15 a month. You get a hat or a shirt or whatever based on your tier. With that, let's go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to give you our fantasy baseball update and then talk about our worst Copa hats.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back with me, root. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Shop kids' baseball shirts at 9pluss.com.
The book.
Welcome back, baseball family. We are excited to jump in and give you our fantasy updates for the week. Brad is really good at reading this off, and if I pull up my phone, there will be static on the line. So we're not going to do that. So, Brad, why don't you give us an update on this week's fantasy games and matchups and all of the terrible that's happening?
It was terrible, Brig. I'm going to be honest with you.
I know.
So this last week, my Manitoba Man Clowns went up against Denise's Grace Under Fire. She ended up winning that one 365 to 327. Matt Olson tore things up for me with 81 points. Travis Darno had a pretty good week at 55, but man, she had Rowdy Talese, everybody's new favorite brewer, had 78 points, and then she was consistent all the way down. I was not. My bottom 3 were Sean Mania with 8, Robbie Ray with 5, and Nelson Cruz with 4. Her lowest score was Freddie Peralta with 9. So that's not going to do it for me, right?
No.
So Denise won that one. And then we have Springfield Nuclear against Big League Chupacabras. That's Tori is Big League Jewel is Big League Chupacabras. Tori is the Springfield Nuclear, and Jewel won that one 445 to 439. These two were the highest scores this week. Torrey literally would have beat everybody else in the league had he not gone up against Jewel.
Yeah.
His high score was Paul Goldschmidt with a whopping 100 points. Got the C note. CJ Crone for Jewel had 90, but then Jared Walsh had 89.
Dang.
That's going to do it for you right there, folks.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we've got John with the Harrisburg Charlies and Brigger Mortis. You were close, Brig. 336 to 321. Didn't quite come out on top there.
It wasn't
Your high
as bad
score
as
was
it could have been.
Yasmani Grandal with 61, though. Then he had Vlad Guerrero Jr. the third with 76.
I almost traded Grandal or put him on the bench. I almost benched him this week. Yeah.
You have another catcher you could put in his place?
Gary.
The Sanchez.
Yeah.
But yeah. So a down week for both of you. It's just too bad you didn't get somebody else on a down week, or else you might have pulled it out. And then not another fantasy team, which is Jason went up against Zip, which is the Springfield Isotopes. Jason won that one 347 to 338. Jason's Pete Alonso had 70, and then he also had Ryan Mountcastle who scored 68. Zip had Josh Bell with 88, and then Jose Altuve with 63 after that, and then it just kind of went down from there. But I will say this: Jason had Nestor Cortez in a down week, -1.
Oh.
And Zip had Logan Webb for his lowest score with 6. So Jason was really top heavy, ended up pulling that one out by just 9 points. So that is our week 4 fantasy baseball update. If you'd like any pointers on fantasy baseball, feel free to jump in the mailbag down in the description or on baseballtogether.com. Now, let's get into our worst Copa hats. Are you ready for this, Brig?
You know what? I'm so excited, actually, because we spent so much time and so much emphasis focusing on the Copa hats we loved. And there was a certain amount of difficulty in that. And I wondered how this would play out. And this was way harder for me.
It was.
It turns out that when you look for bad, it's easy to find. And maybe that's a life lesson that we should all just embrace, is that when you hunt the good stuff, you find the good stuff. And when you're looking for bad stuff, it's there too.
Well, the thing that I thought was funny about doing this is that, like, I would look at something and be like, yeah, I don't like that. But that was on my list 2 years ago. Either my tastes have changed, or I'm literally just looking for the bad, right? Looking for something not to like.
I think that's what it is you're just looking for something not to like. Because I had a very similar experience. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
funny.
Brad, why don't you go ahead and show me your, did you put them in any particular order?
There's no particular order in on our deck here, not at all.
Okay,
but I do have my
I don't
list.
either.
Okay, very good. I have my names though, so that I can make sure that I keep track of them. So I'm going to start with. Do you mind if I go first?
No, I want you to go first. Go first.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, just making sure. So I'm going to go first with the Stockton Ports, also known as the Caballos de Stockton. They're the low A affiliate of the A's. I like the color, the purple and the lime green looks good. I'm not really one for purple, but I think it looks good there. I like it. However, Brig, the problem that I have is that logo. I'm not really sure what's going on there. It's like literally an iron horse.
Yeah.
But I don't know what. I mean, caballos is horses, but I'd be fine with just like a regular horse.
Yeah, I don't get the steel-plated, sort of riveted horse that they got going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks strange, but I will say this is that in my searching around trying to find another example of this hat, which I didn't find. I thought maybe there would be something better, but there wasn't. I did find this shirt, which actually is super cool. It's a sugar skull with the Caballos hat. And I think that's cool. I think it's a cool shirt.
It's not terrible. I hate it, actually.
Do you see the problem I have with it is the fact that the hat is on there. But like if you had the skull with a different hat, I think it would be really cool. I like it.
Yeah, and I've seen that around the league.
Have you?
I've been to a lot of minor league games.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
There are other teams that are doing that a little bit better.
Well, then maybe I'll get it from somewhere else because I think that's a cool shirt.
Yeah, you should get it from somewhere else.
So, excellent. All right, what you got?
All right, so I'm going to go with the Tacoma Rainiers. And this was a tough one for me because I love the way the tricolor situation is happening here with the visor and the crown broken up in the panels are all the different colors, and the squatchy matches the visor. That's all wonderful. The problem I have is that there's no outline on this sugar skull face paint situation here. It's like there's no defining lines on the outside to really contain what's happening here, and it just looks like a mess. It feels half done. It feels half-hearted. It feels like they just ran out of time, and Major League Baseball says, if you don't get us the design by 5:00 this evening, then you can't order any merch for the remainder of this year and next. And they were like, just ship it, hurry, which
just
apparently is what happens. Because I talked to one of my friends at the minor league stadium, and they say that Major League Baseball is just like that when it comes to merch at minor league parks. Yep.
Wow.
Just really ugly about timelines.
Doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
But knowing what we know about Major League Baseball's rules with merchandising and media and everything, that's just another thing to add to the list, and doesn't surprise us one bit, I don't feel like.
Nope. Not even one single bit.
So
there you go.
Right.
I don't think it's probably not their fault.
Yeah, it might be a halfway done logo. Maybe next year we'll get the rest of it. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, they've had some time.
yes, they have. Okay.
All right, what you got next?
My next hat is going to be the Peoria Chiefs. Now they were kind of, I feel like, lazy with their Copa name as well.
Yeah.
Because it's the Peoria Chiefs and El Rio is all it is. So the name first off doesn't do it for me, but second, like this hat, like again, like the color scheme is great. I love the crown, that teal crown with the purple visor looks awesome. The purple eyelets and the squatchy looks great, but that logo, I'm having a hard. I mean, I guess NL Rio means on the river, right? So it's a tugboat, but it's like there's like baseball laces on the tugboat, and then I think they're trying to make the smokestack into a bat, and then there's a P on the front with, I don't know. It's just not working for me, and it doesn't feel Copa.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
That might work as a regular logo or some variation of that, but it does not it doesn't say anything Copa to me at all.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm with you on the lazy Copa name. Like that bugs me.
Yeah, pick something that makes more. At least say Chiefs in Spanish.
Yeah, Jefes or something would be. Yeah.
Oh, we'll get there.
Oh no! All right, so I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna pick. Let's see. I'm gonna do this one. This is the Tri-City Dust Devils, the Vinero, the Tri-City, and it's like the purple is like. Let's totally be honest. The purple's awesome. I don't even hate the lime green up against the purple. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. But then this is some, I don't know how to describe this. It's a cartoon character dude with a straw like workday hat which has a purple band around it, by the way, which is kind of a nice touch given how bad this design is. He's got a bat over his shoulder and he's dragging an enormous bundle of grapes behind him, and it is just outsized. This is the Barry Bonds of grape bundles, is what this is. The guys grew over the season, and nobody understands why, and he's doing his best to ward off whatever ogre might assault him in an effort to get the steroid-induced grapes, and hence the bat. And that's what we have.
Yes, you're spot on. I had every one of those thoughts, Brig, down to the ogre trying to obtain the steroid-induced grapes. Now, I don't love, like, this is one thing with me, is I don't like that shade of purple. It's kind of a strange shade of purple for like an entire hat. It's a lot. It's a whole lot.
It's a lot.
Maybe make
Yeah.
the visor a different color on it. I don't know. Like make the visor match the squatchy and the eyelets. I don't know. But that's a weird. He almost looks like he belongs in the Flintstones, doesn't he?
Yes, or a Peanuts cartoon. Or
Yeah. I
cartoon
don't like.
strip or
I don't like
something.
the hat for minor
Flintstones.
league
That's it. I can see the Flintstones now.
professional
He looks like
baseball.
he's
It's.
dragging this to Barney Rubble's house.
But I will say this though about the Vineros is that the area just west of Tri-Cities, because it's Tri-Cities, Washington, the Dust Devils.
Okay.
The area just west of there's actually a lot of vineyards on the north side of the Columbia River because of the way the sun hits the hills.
Yeah.
So the name actually makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, it's good.
So that I'm fine with the name, but man, the hat just does not look good. It almost belongs like I think he might go on like the children's Tylenol, the chewable, the grape chewables.
Yes.
maybe that's where he belongs. But that was one of mine as well. So that was my third. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we get back, we've each got 2 left.
The Another Sports Podcast is the home of sports talk for everyone. Every other week, you can catch David and Jason as they talk about all things sports, from current events to classic moments and everything in between. You can find the Another Sports Podcast on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, and more. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review.
Welcome back, baseball family, to this episode of the Baseball Together podcast. We're talking about our least favorite, probably worst Copa hats. Brig had another hat on today, a Copa hat. This is one that we overlooked last week, and it is absolutely fantastic. You want to highlight that for us, Brig?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the Arkansas Travelers Copa hat. This is last year's, actually. Let me show you this year's. It was such a wonderful find that I couldn't. I had to ask Brad if he wanted one. So while I was there in Arkansas, we picked it. I was able to pick these up. And they're great. Again, this is the red ones last year, the yellow ones this year. I'm a little jelly, actually, now that I see them truly side by side. But they're great. And with these, both of Brad and I agree that these would have gone on our lists last week, had we known that they were available. Something happened with Minor League Baseball's website that didn't get published on there. I brought that to the attention. Yeah, no, they didn't know that. So I told them while I was there, and they were like, "What?" So that was pretty cool. Anyway, for those of you listening, they're the Diamantes, which is diamond in Spanish. And what we have here is a diamond in white and red stitching, mustachioed, big handlebar mustachioed diamond. And it fans into this beautiful sombrero all the way around the width of the mustaches either side. It points down with the diamond point, and it's curved at the top right here with the top of the sombrero. And it is just exquisite.
It's awesome.
I love it. Even the red in the diamond look like eyes, and the red bottom piece looks like a goatee. And either way, I don't care how you look at it. It is just fabulous. So
fantastic hat. Very excited to get mine. Don't know when it's going to be yet, but I'll get it.
It's right here.
I know.
You come and get it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know when I'm going to be able to make it out, Brig. But anyway, so I aired before. Brig has 3 left, so he's going to lead us off, and he's going to talk about his next 3 hats for us today.
Okay, I am going to go. Oh, I have them in somewhat of an order at this point. Okay, this is the Temblores Rancho Cucamonga. So the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, obviously this is an ode to an earthquake. The hat is all the way blue. I don't hate that. The eyelets match. That's fine. The squatchy's white. That's okay. They've got a T, the letter T with a crack kind of in it, like it's made of stone. And then in the upper quadrant on one side and then opposite lower quadrant, we've got little kind of like emoji lines that show that it's trembling and shaking. And then across the visor is this awkward black stitched Charlie Brown T-shirt, zigzag chevron looking thing, as though there was a fissure in the earth, and it's just awful. I just hate it so much. They were like, how do we show an earthquake? I don't know. Put a shaky T on there. There you go. A shaky T. That's what we'll do. So I got a shaky T.
That's funny. And so one thing that is funny about some of these is the like the level of cartooniness. I don't know if that's an actual word, but I'm going to say it.
Sure
but the
is.
level of cartoon to some of these is actually comical, and I don't know, it's a little much for me. But anyway, speaking of cartoony and borderline comical, my next one, Brig, is going to be the Somerset Patriots, also known as the Zorros or Foxes. This looks to me, I'm just going to say it looks like Brer Fox.
Yeah.
This looks like a hat you would buy at Disneyland, not at a minor league baseball field. And if they're trying to appeal to, if they're trying to get to a younger audience and kids with this hat, then I'm sure they crushed it and nailed it.
Yeah, it's working.
Me, I would not buy this hat because I'm not one to buy hats at Disneyland. Again,
I love the colors of this, though.
I was going to say the colors are outstanding. That orange, that kind of that whatever orange color that is, and then like the pastel Tiffany
orange.
blue, and then like that Tiffany blue crown with the orange squatchy, and then the eyelets actually match the rest of the crown. Like, I think that looks great. But man, I just don't like the look of that fox.
Just the orange and white, mischievous looking fox head.
And it might be because I had a bad experience with Brer Fox at Disney World when I was a teenager. But
that makes sense, because I don't hate this hat. Actually, I would wear that.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Don't love it. He tried to break my sunglasses. He pulled them off my face and tried to break them.
What? Okay, so, I hate him.
Yeah. Not
I hate
a good
him too.
experience.
No,
not a good time, Brig.
No, I think so.
So that's my next one. All right, go ahead with your next hat.
Okay, this one is the West Michigan Whitecaps, the West Michigan Calaveras. It's orange on the visor. It's blue, on the crown, and it's really loud. It's like the blaze, kind of hunter blaze orange, and then the visor itself is a nice baby blue. Squatchy is baby blue. And then the eyelets are this weird yellow color. And that's super uncomfortable. I don't understand that. But then the logo itself is like this ancient, like Incan or Mayan headdress, sugar skull thing on top of what I can only assume is waves with a white cap. And it just looks like this ghost guy got cut in half. And it's super awkward.
It is. So their Copa name is Los Locos de Lansing.
Oh.
So it's a crazy. I don't know what exactly a crazy is. Maybe it's a crazy spirit. I don't know. But
interesting.
It is strange though. That logo is quite odd.
Yeah, so I don't like it.
I will absolutely agree with you on that.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, for my last one here. This is the absolute worst one out of my bunch. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to go with the Brooklyn Cyclones, or the high A affiliate of the Mets. They're called the Jefes. I don't know what's going on there. It looks like, so it has kind of like a gold crown, like a goldish tan, visor with a navy blue crown, same colored gold tan eyelets, and it looks like the squatchy might be the same, because this picture is not very good, I'll be honest with you. But then the logo looks like it's the Brooklyn Bridge on a crown. Yeah, like
maybe,
I don't know, like the logo is fine out of this context. If you're gonna give me the Jefes, give me Jefe. I want Jefe. Who's Jefe? Put Jefe on the hat.
Yeah.
Give me that, not whatever this is, because this just feels like, it doesn't feel like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like Copa. It feels more like a tribute to the city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Huh.
I didn't love it. Maybe outside of, like I said, maybe out of the context, it might be better. But man, it's a great name with a not fitting logo, and that's my issue
Yeah.
with it.
And it's a
Because the color
decent
scheme's
logo.
cool.
Yeah, you're right, against the name. I like that Vegas gold. I always love that Vegas gold.
Yeah, you're right. That's what that is.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But I don't know. It's confusing. Quite
Yeah, I
confusing.
agree. Again, just feels a little halfway done.
Yeah, it does. All right, what you got for your last one, Brig?
Okay, my last one is the Midland Rock Hounds, which is a terrific ball club, a really great facility, by the way. If you're in Midland, Texas, the Midland, Odessa area, it's a really great stopover. But their Copa hat makes me giggle. They, you've got it up here. They are calling themselves under this hat the Matamoscas. Did I get that right? The Matamoscas de Medesa, and it's a fly swatter, is what it is.
It is. This was one of my favorite ones.
I can't stand it, dude. I love the color combo. So the visor itself is lime green. So is the squatchy. The crown is all 6 panels are divided up. The back 4 are a pale baby blue. The front 2 are white, and then we have this very awkward bent as though in flight.
Some force behind that fly swatter break.
Some serious force. Somebody is going to get that bug. And looks like they may have, because the eyes on the fly swatter are like oozing or whatever. Look like dead flies for eyes is what. But he's very happy.
It might be.
They're very happy about this. This fly swatter is very happy, and so there's streaks of baby blue and like comic book like pow, designs under it anyway.
And I think the Matamosca, which means fly swatter, I think it looks like a Marvel villain, like straight from the comic book. Like I can't think of who it would be off the top of my head, but like somebody like the Brain. I don't know. But I love this set. I think it's fantastic. The colors are awesome. The fly swatter is super funny, and
it's funny.
And out of all the names you chose, you're like, let's be the Matamoscas. Very niche to the area. We happen to have a lot of flies in this area, so we're gonna go with Matamoscas, and everybody we know is going to absolutely love it. It's gonna be fantastic.
And they probably do love it. They probably do. I just think that the logo, like I said, the colors are great. The logo itself is just, I don't know, it was maybe a little too tongue-in-cheek for me this time. Yeah. But some of the other ones I love for that same reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what I mean.
Well, that's the thing too, is like I didn't like the Viñeros and I didn't like the Zorros because they were too cartoony. But this one I love, and I don't know.
And it's super cartoony.
It's a double standard, I understand, but at the same time. Anyway, I don't know. Let us know what you think, though, baseball family. Hop on the YouTubes and leave us a comment on the videos that we post, because we do post every segment individually. So if you want to watch the podcast broken up, that's a fine way to do it as well. We will not be offended if you choose to do that. Leave us a comment if you would like in any video, or jump in the mailbag. As I said earlier, there's a link to the mailbag in every episode, and also every clip and episode on YouTube as well down in the description. So you can send us something in the mailbag there, or on baseballtogether.com. Brig, tell us about the shop.
Don't forget, you can jump on the shop at 9plusus.com. It's NINEPLUSUS.com. 9plusus.com. I'm not selling you a used car, even though that's the voice I'm using right now. What we have for you, one time only, every time you go, is baseball paraphernalia. We got t-shirts, we got hats, we got all kinds of stuff on there just for you and your friends and family. We even have onesies, which are very exciting for that new bundle of baseball fan coming into your life. So jump on the shop and get yourself something nice.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Brig. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Subscribe on YouTube and whatever podcast app you choose to listen on. And baseball family, thank you for joining us. We will catch you next week.